and I will share my screen with you. Welcome to today's webinar. I do not yet see any of the JV partners online, so I will just have to give you an idea of what's going on with each of the various parties and show you how that might be helpful in your business. So there are a few people that I'm actively working with right now, and so first is, I should let you all know though that one of the events that I have coming up that you should try and attend yourself if you can make it there and tell others about, please, is the Fred and Bob Bly site, fredandbobbly.com, which if we put it in here, and I still have the old Citrix stuff here, so Fred and Bob Bly. So here it is. This is the event we're having on the 25th and 26th in New York City, and you may want to read through this copy because Bob and I are doing a very detailed multi-day, 2-day seminar, and you should check this out. So now, in preparation for that, it's 2 days in New York City, January 25/26. Hopefully there'll be no snowstorms. That would be nice. And what we're doing there is a lot of stuff on both information and internet marketing. So, and that's going to be recorded. We're going to have, obviously, give people access to that material. And by the way, what's happening right now is I am actively searching, because I have all the equipment. This is one of the problems is that I have, and let's talk about what the equipment is that I have and what you might need to record an event like this. We have a maximum, I think, of 70 people that we are accommodating, and that is, let's see here. So we've got 70 people, and we're going to be doing both an audio and a video recording. And so what you need is we're going to have just a one-camera shoot, one camera to record the presenters, and also we're going to have a PowerPoint presentation. And so in order to do that, we have what's called a video mixer. And that takes the signal from the camera and from the computer that's doing the PowerPoint and allows you to go back and forth, to switch back and forth between the two. This is for the purpose of not having to do a lot of editing later, so that what can happen, and this is called live switching, so that as we're recording the event, we're live switching the signal between the camera and the PowerPoint presentation, so that when it's all over, it's super simple to then just package it into multiple, DVDs, and you're done. If you didn't do this, you'd have to go back in and someone would have to watch the video, excuse me, someone would have to watch the video and then drop in the PowerPoint slides as you went through it after the fact, which is a pain in the butt. And it's a pain in the butt and takes a lot of time, and therefore it's a lot more costly and a lot more, it just holds you up in terms of timing. So that's one of the reasons why we do this. And so it's important. I see a few people are just joining us here, so I wanted to just make mention of a couple things here once they're on. Again, if you got on late, let me just see here as soon as everybody gets on. So let me see here 1 second, and I will repeat that. So we've got this event being recorded both in audio and in video, and I'm going to just give you a little bit more of the particulars on that. But if you came on late here and missed the beginning of this, all these webinars are put up within the next 24 hours at fredgleeck.com, and you click on webinars so you can catch the part that you missed. So we're talking about this event, fredandbobbly.com in New York City. We're going to be recording it, one camera to record the presenters and one feed, if you will, and we're going to switch these live, and then we have the audio side, and so the audio is recorded and amplified, and so in order to amplify, there is a device called the Fender P150, which is a fairly, it looks like a big suitcase. And what it allows you to do, maybe I'll just bring that up here. So if I search for Fender P150, it's called the Fender Passport. And let's go to B&H, which is half a block from where I live in New York. And so this is what it looks like. So if you zoom in on it, that's what it looks like. And it allows you to have, mine is an earlier model than this. So it allows you to have different, let me see if there are any customer photos. Yeah, okay. So it allows you to have more than one audio input. So the Fender P150. So what's going to happen is we're going to have three audio inputs, and it's going to be Bob, me, and audience member. So now chances are Bob is going to want, I would guess, a lavalier mic, a lav. I'm going to use a handheld, and we're going to have for the audience is going to have a handheld as well. Okay, so now all of these microphones are going to be wireless, and they will go into the Passport P150 in one of these outputs here. And those signals are then mixed, and then this device here, the Fender P150, has an output. So the P150 output is going to go to the Marantz, and I have a Marantz PMD. I have a 660. There's now a new model. Basically, this is an audio recorder. Okay, so this audio recorder, and that will record the audio separately. And then what happens is, from the Marantz PMD 660, we go out, probably via what's called mini plug, which is the standard plug that you use for a headset of any sort, or if you're plugging into your iPod, your headphones, via mini plug into the camera, which is recording the video and the audio. So we're going to get the audio recorded separately onto the PMD, but we're also going to get a PMD, not PAD, PMD. And we're going to be recording the video signal, camera, which is recording the video and the audio signal. And so then what happens is we're getting a nice clean audio signal, hopefully, right into the camera. So at the end, we're going to get and now the camera we're using here is a Canon Vixia. Nothing fancy. Let's see what B&H sells these for. So if we go into Canon Vixia, and there are a bunch of different models, but let me just pick this one. So this one is $249, and let's see if this has what we need. Now, what I want is something that has media that can be removed. So it's probably, maybe that's a higher model. Maybe that's a 42. Let's see. Let's see here. Yes. Full HD, and it's got memory slots. Okay, so with this one for $379, and you look at the specs down here. So the recording recording mode. It has both internal memory, but it has SD cards as well, up to 128 gig. So there's plenty of recordable memory. Now, what I do is when we record these, what I do is every time we break, so every break, I remove and replace the SD card and the camera just so it's separate. So each section has one SD card associated with it. Okay. Just makes it easier. And it's a little bit more equipment and stuff. And also the other thing that I do is that at the lunch break, I replace all batteries for the mics, whether they need it or not. And this is just to make sure that I don't end up with a problem here. So, because I've got wireless mics, and so I'm making sure that I replace those at lunch. So what'll happen is, if I need, let's say, whatever number of batteries I need, I make sure that I have adequate batteries to go sort of 4 sessions. So that's because I'm doing 2 days. First day, you know, till lunch, then after lunch, and then the same thing on the second day. And as a result, when I'm done, I'm going to have both the audio and the video here, hopefully. And the real tricky part here is making sure that the video, because the video signal is coming out of a computer. And so Bob is going to be using, you know, we're both going to be using PowerPoints. So I have to make sure that the PowerPoint presentation works on my Mac. His system is going to be loaded there. We are going to have handouts as well based on the outline. And then, so I'm going to make a note to myself to make sure I have all of those as well. But the PowerPoint presentation has got to be able to work with a little remote button that he can push. I don't use a PowerPoint presentation, but he does. And so that's what we do. So there's a fair amount of information on that. And I see that there was last I saw, the Bob Bly technique did not work. I don't know what you're talking about there, David. So that's not, that had nothing to do with Bob Bly. That was a separate individual. That was the blogging stuff. That had nothing to do with Bob. So this is how we're going to be recording this. And obviously, one of the things is that I used to be able to do all this myself, but because it's so important that we get this done right, I'm going to hire somebody in New York to help me on both the audio and the video side. Video person to help on this project. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that whoever I'm working with understands what we're doing in terms of what equipment we're using and how this is working, so that everything goes smoothly. And hopefully what I will do is have the person come over the day before and do a setup. And I'm going to do that same thing here on the West Coast before I head to New York to make sure that I can figure it out and I know how to do it, because it does get a little bit complicated. Because what has to happen is you've got to get the computer signal, you know, and the you know, it's just there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong here. Because what happens is you have the audio and the video feed, and they get mixed, and you have to record it. But the problem is, I'm seeing right now as I'm saying this that I can't really do exactly what I'm saying here. Nice. Because what happens is if the two video signals, the signal for the video camera and for the PowerPoint are being mixed, they then have to be offloaded onto a separate device. And I think the guy at B&H told me there's some kind of a machine that will basically capture all of this in whatever form I want. And I think I wrote it down somewhere, but I don't have it. So basically my idea of having this recorded onto, you see, because if I record it directly onto the camera, the SD card, I will not get the PowerPoint presentation mixed into that. So that's going to be a problem. So I got to figure out how to do that. And basically, I might have to end up having this mixed in after the fact, which will be a pain in the neck, but we'll see. So I will let you know there. So let me just explain to you here. If you're using the video mixing device, and that, by the way, let me just show you what that is. Data video mixer. I think that's will be enough to pull it up here. Yeah, I have the less expensive version of this, which is, I have a, let me see if I do this from price from low to high. Let's see if it pulls it up. Data video. This is kind of what I have here. And so this device allows me to mix multiple signals. But the question is, when it comes out, what is it getting stored on? And that requires a separate little device to store the video signal. So what is this? Data video tally box. What the heck is this? I don't know what this is. So this is what I'm using. This allows you to do different stuff on it. So I'm going to have to get this all set up. And the problem is, I know how to do this, but I'm too nervous to try and do it myself, because if I screw it up, we're going to miss a huge amount of revenue. And that is from from the fact that we have people, and right now there's a maximum of 70 people paying basically $200. So that's 14,000 gross, 14,000 max. And so then we have the cost of the room, which is running, I think it's running about $2,200 for 2 days. And then we have the cost of the audio video people. And that will run, I'm just going to budget maybe, let's say we budget $2,500 for that. So by the time it's all said and done, hopefully this will have, if we max out with 70 people, we should have a profit of around $9,000. That will be split between Bob and myself. So there you have it. That's a little bit about how this works. The problem is I bought all this equipment because I was doing at the time a lot more live events, and I said to myself, by the time you rent all this equipment, or if you hire a company to do this and they come in with all their equipment, they're going to charge me maybe $2,500 a day. So the cost of buying all the equipment usually, and this is kind of a rule of thumb, you can figure, and this is something that everybody should remember if you're doing anything like this, which is the cost to buy equipment usually runs 3 times the cost to rent it from quote-unquote professionals. So, so I'm saying here that if I'm going to pay these folks $2,500, that my complete setup, or a complete setup that they would bring in, would cost me no more than $7,500 to buy myself. The problem is, once you own it yourself, then the question is, who runs the stuff? And can you make sure that it's done properly? But this is a really good rule of thumb, which is the cost to buy equipment usually runs 3 times the cost to rent it from professionals and have them come in and do it. So that's a good rule of thumb there. So, but if you have all the various pieces that we spoke about up here, the Marantz and the all of this stuff, it'll cost you no more than $7,500 to buy it. So if you're going to do one of these events more than 3 times and you have some people that you can teach or you can learn yourself how to do it, then it's worth, it's worth putting it together yourself. So that's a little bit about that. Now I see we still don't have any of the JV partners on here, but that gives you a little bit of an idea of what Bob Bly, and by the way, this, let me just show it to those of you who came on a little bit late, Fred and Bob Bly. That's this event that we're talking about here. And anyone, if you should take a look at the site and understand, what we're doing. Hopefully you can make it. If you can, love to see you. It's a very inexpensive event for what we're doing for 2 days. Take a look at the agenda. There's a lot of stuff that's being covered. It's in New York City, January 25th and 26th. Now, the other thing that I wanted to show you is from my other partner, 100voquestions.com. This is from Bill Dewey, and Bill Dewey is doing this. Let me just show you this.
Hi, I'm Bill Dewey. I have recorded thousands of commercials and corporate narrations and audiobooks for clients like Chevrolet, Simon & Schuster, Warner Brothers, NBC Universal, Mattel, American Express, John Deere, Adidas, Microsoft, Walmart, Monster.com, Butterball, Domino's Pizza, QVC, Arm & Hammer, Liberty Mutual. I think you get the idea. I have a lot of experience in this industry. I've been a media talent coach for over the past 30 years, and I've helped more people than I can count to launch careers in broadcasting and in voiceovers. I'm also a former college professor where I taught media and business, and I'm also a former business and marketing consultant where I would work one-on-one with small to medium-sized business owners in troubleshooting the problems in their business so that they could be successful within their business. In other words, I have a pretty broad understanding of both sides of the coin, both the performance, the media performance, what you do behind a microphone, as well as how you build and sustain a successful business. So why the top 100 voiceover questions? Well, every month I receive hundreds of questions from voiceover talent from around the world. And as much as I would love to personally respond to all of them with in-depth answers, the truth is my recording schedule and my coaching schedule simply doesn't allow it. So that's how the idea for the top 100 voiceover questions was born. I want you to think of this as a voiceover library of knowledge. The answers to these questions, and by the way, there's about 10 hours of video content, address just about every question imaginable. And the great thing is it's available to you 24/7, 365. If you have a question, chances are you're going to find it, and you'll be able to access that information anytime that you want. And the good news is you don't have to wait to find out whether your question is answered or not. The questions are actually listed here on the website so you can see what is available. Also keep this in mind. This website is not static. It's dynamic. It will continue to grow because if you have a question that you find is not answered within this website, you have an issue that's not addressed, you can simply send me an email with that issue or that question, and then as I'm able, I will continue to expand upon the knowledge that's here so that it will continue to be more and more of a help, not only to you, but to others who are looking to establish themselves and have a successful voiceover career. I hope you get the idea by now that I love coaching. I am compelled to help other people succeed, and I really look forward to helping you.
Okay, so that's Bill's pitch. It's on the site. I would definitely recommend you look at 100voquestions.com and see how we did this, because basically this is a 2-page website. It's this page, which has Bill's sort of, here's who I am. Now, these 100 voiceover questions, we listed them all by category. This is marketing, and so we went through and listed all the questions he covers, each individually, on the industry, performance, technical stuff, business operations, and this is a pitch for this program. So if you click Get Started Now, it takes you to a page that allows you to, in the pre-launch, get this for $97. It's all explained exactly what it is, but this is really, it's just a 2-page website. It's this page.
Hi, I'm Bill Dewey.
I can't do that again. And so, and then when you click on Members Login, once you sign up, you get a username and a password, and you can then get access to the other page. So there are 2 pages on the site. There's the sales page trying to get you to buy it, and then there's the product page, which lists and has all the questions. And I think that, I forget what this was. Let me see if I can remember. Let me see if I can get in here and see what this is. Nope. Nope, I can't get in. I forgot what my... Nope. I can't remember. So anyway, well, this will allow you access to another page. Maybe it's just Fred. We did this as a temporary. Anyway, I won't try and do it anymore and waste your time on that. But basically, it's this page, and you should look at this. And you can do this for any field, by the way. It's perfect. And if you want help on doing this, by the way, this is the area that Dave Hamilton, who is the web marketing magician, he's the guy that can help you on this. So Dave will put together sites like this, and it's really easy for him to do. And so once you have a sales page, and then you have all of the questions answered. So all the questions that you see here are basically on the second page are categorized like marketing, and then you see all the videos, and all these questions are answered in video form just straight down the page. And it's sort of like one of those things where it expands and contracts. It's really well done. I wish I could show that to you, but maybe I'll do it next time. So anyway, that gives you an idea. And so I told you a little bit about what I'm doing with the Bob Bly event, and this is one of the JV partners, and Avish couldn't make it today. So I think that's enough for today.